haunted pubs and hotels of Doncaster. The ancient city of Doncaster can be found in the South Yorkshire district of England. Known globally for its heritage on the horse racing scene, Doncaster is home to one of the oldest and most prestigious horse races in the world, the St. Leger. It's one of the reasons people continue to flock to the city each September, filling up its surrounding pubs and hotels with all the excitement that comes from a day at the races. But it's not just the living that choose to hang around in Doncaster, because lurking in some of the pubs and hotels around this town are said to be a number of ghosts that have chosen to check in but never check out. Hello and welcome to the Wanderlust Way. In today's video we'll be exploring the city of Doncaster to discover some of the ghostly characters thought to reside in some of the area's oldest pubs and hotels. It's a place that I've spent a lot of time in before, and so some of these stories have been passed down from the witnesses themselves. In this video you can expect the ghost of Black Bess, infamous horse to the murderous 18th century highwayman Dick Turpin. We'll also visit a hotel that has been a hotspot for ghost hunters for years, with manifestations there causing investigators to fall ill. So please sit back, relax and enjoy. If you do enjoy it, I'd really appreciate a like so YouTube shares it with other people like you, and do subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this in the future. Noted for its famous horse racing and its crucial role in railway history, the city of Doncaster dates right back to the Roman times. Initially known as Daneham, it served as a fort and settlement at a crossing of the River Don. Later, the famous steam locomotive, the Flying Scotsman, was built here, and as mentioned before, the racecourse has played a key role in its story. Coal mining has also been important, and that played a vital role in the town's industrial development. But you've not come here just to learn about the history of Doncaster, have you? No, you're here for the ghosts. Although the city of Doncaster is where you'll find the majority of the area's shops, bars and the railway, the area spans further than this, with a scattering of villages and towns around the outskirts. And it is here in these more rural areas that some of the spooks choose to reside. The Red Lion, Epworth. Situated in the small historic town of Epworth on the Isle of Axholme, you can find the Red Lion Coaching Inn, a place oozing with history. This old pub and hotel is thought to date from the 17th century and was famously visited by John Wesley, the founder of Methodism. It's therefore got history lurking in every shadowy corner, and amidst all that, quite a few ghosts. Staff have reported strange activity in the bar area, with glasses flying off shelves and the feeling of being watched around the cellar. The restaurant is said to be haunted by the ghost of a child who runs behind the chairs of diners. The youngster is said to be very real looking, with guests often moving their chairs out of the way, only to soon realise that there isn't actually anybody there. Past chefs have reported a tall man standing in the doorway of the kitchen as if waiting for something. Sensing his presence but busying themselves with their work, one chef asked how he could help, only to turn around and see that the man had vanished. Being a little freaked out by this, the staff later reviewed the CCTV footage, only to discover that no person had been stood there after all. With a variety of comfortable bedrooms and suites, the Red Lion is able to accommodate visitors overnight too, but it is after dark that ghostly activities occur in some of the bedrooms. In particular, the ones located in the oldest part of the building, with the hotel's popular Wesley Suite being said to be the area of most sightings. Here, apparitions of a young boy have been spotted, with one resident sharing a photograph they'd taken, which appeared to show him looking out from inside the mirror over the dresser. The ghosts have now become an accepted part of the Red Lion in Epworth, with the landlady accepting it's just part and parcel of being in an old building. It's claimed that none of them have caused any actual harm, so there's really nothing to be scared of. The Eagle and Child, Orkley. Around a 20-minute drive from Epworth, heading in the direction of Doncaster Airport, you will find the village of Orkley, and in particular, the Eagle and Child Public House. The first records show an inn has existed on this site since 1492, with the present property dating back to 1820. The pub's website boasts 3 ghosts live here at the Eagle and Child, but one in particular appears more than the rest. The ghost at the Eagle and Child is said to be that of a scruffy man who sits at his same favourite table each time, smoking. Once somebody notices him, however, his form disappears, but patrons report that the smell of his cigarette smoke still lingers in the air. Local rumour tells that this man was a labourer who was working on the building during one of its previous improvements. It is said that the landlord, not wanting a mess inside the bar, banned him from entering unless he got out of his dirty work clothes. The chap sadly died the next day, but it is thought he returns to the pub, devilishly still in his dirty work clothes. And the reason he returns is believed to be because he took a shine to one of the cleaning girls. The Crown Hotel, Bawtry. The Crown Inn can be found in the 12th century port town of Bawtry, a civil parish of Doncaster. Today it is a 4-star luxury hotel that is popular for weddings. But it's not just the wedding guests that stay in the Crown's 77 bedrooms. For this 18th century coaching inn, once associated with being visited by the infamous highwayman Dick Turpin, is thought to be the site of various hauntings. The most cited is the ghost of a young waitress, murdered by her jealous lover, who is said to have strangled her in rage over 100 years ago. The unfortunate soul has been spotted in the restaurant area, and screams are heard at midnight each year on the anniversary of her death. The courtyard of the Crown Inn has its fair share of paranormal visitors too. At night, guests have reported hearing the hooves of horses, with many suggesting it to be that of Black Bess, Dick Turpin's legendary horse, famous for aiding the highwayman in many of his daring escapes. In the stables, it is believed an elderly monk suffered a heart attack. His ghostly figure, wearing a brown belted habit, is often seen seated in the corner laughing. A strong smell of brandy often reported with the appearance of the monk. Another regular ghost at the Crown has been named the Crinoline Lady, thought to be the female soul of a woman who perished in a fire many years ago. She is now said to walk the corridors of the old wing at night, and has also been spotted in reception. Reports have been made by visitors of the temperature dropping suddenly in some of these areas. The Crown Inn has been the subject of paranormal investigations in the past, with experts picking up on the figure of a young child sitting in the corner of the restaurant. There are tales too from frightened visitors who have reported a ghostly figure sitting on the end of their bed in the middle of the night. But which of the many ghosts that could be, I'm not too sure. The Punch Bowl, Thorn. Whilst on the subject of guests being frightened out of their sleep, we move on to our next haunted spot, the Punch Bowl in Thorn. About 10 miles northeast of Doncaster town centre is the town of Thorn, and here in particular, set back on Fieldside Road, you will find the Punch Bowl. The building was once a substantial private house. The area, which is now a car park, would have served as the property's attractive garden and lawns. Today it is an establishment that offers traditional food and drink, with overnight accommodation available too. Its website guarantees a warm welcome, excellent home-cooked food, and a friendly service. But like the other buildings on our list, the Punch Bowl is home to a ghost or two. Many sightings here have involved a small ghostly boy who has been known for his playful antics with unsuspecting visitors. It is not believed that he wants to cause any harm, but that he is merely out seeking new friends to play with. But if we are to believe the stories, there must be multiple ghosts here, as overnight guests have reported the feeling of being pushed down into their beds, especially in room 12. Past staff working at the Punch Bowl have also described the feeling of being watched when in the cellar. I wonder myself what it is about ghosts that make them like the cellars of old pubs so much. If you have an opinion on that, let me know in the comments. The Red Lion Marketplace, Doncaster. Now moving right into the centre of Doncaster's busy marketplace, we feature another Red Lion hotel. Owned today by the Wetherspoons Pub Company, the Red Lion here offers 14 rooms and is just a short walk from the city's train station. The Wetherspoons Pub Company is known for purchasing historic buildings, and this establishment in particular is believed to have existed for over 260 years. Today it is supposedly haunted by a ghost called Rosie, who it is thought is responsible for glasses jumping off the bar and doors slamming by their own accord. Rosie, it is believed, hung herself in the area that is now the men's toilets. The reason for her suicidal death was thought to be despair after being jilted at the altar. Just before putting the noose around her neck, Rosie, it is thought to have declared her hatred towards all men. Many paranormal investigations have taken place at the Red Lion in the past, including one particular examination where ghost investigators picked up on a voice shouting, "Help me, Maria, help me." On the pub's website, it shares an eyewitness account by Christopher Kitchen, an employee at the Red Lion. Christopher tells the story of one Sunday night after closing time when a member of staff asked him to help them remove someone not quite ready to leave. The figure was seated and had his back to Christopher as he approached him asking him to vacate. No sooner had he said it, the entity stood up, only to vanish into thin air. Tales continue of a manager following somebody into the storeroom, only for there to be nobody in there. Rosington Hall. Last in our Haunted Pubs and Hotels of Doncaster instalment is the Grade 2 listed Rosington Hall. Popular again on the paranormal scene, Rosington Hall is a building that has hosted its fair share of ghost investigations, and there's a very good reason for such interest. Built in 1883, Rosington Hall was once a Victorian stately home that stands in approximately 250 acres of land. Today it serves as a luxury 19-bed hotel that specialises in high-end weddings. The last official resident of the hall was heir to the property, Annette Stretfield. Sadly, Annette passed away in 1937, but many believe she never really left. Today, the attic in particular is haunted by an entity who has affectionately been given the nickname Annie. Apparently, Annie is not the only past resident who wishes to remain at Rosington Hall, for it is also said to be haunted by a previous owner, seen wearing a frock coat and top hat, often around the stables. Before its beautiful restoration to become the venue it is today, Rosington Hall was once a school. Rumours have spread that night staff working there at the time were subjected to creepy goings-on, and the current website tells us more. An eyewitness report by a Mrs. Geeson, who worked at the hall during those times, tells of seeing a man dressed in a tartan dressing gown sitting in an armchair. All perfectly normal, you might think, but Mrs. Geeson suggested that he wasn't complete and did in fact fade right in front of her eyes. Reports suggest he's been seen quite a few times by various people, although I don't think we can be scared too much. I find the thought of a ghost in a dressing gown to be somewhat less threatening. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. In 2016, Yorkshire Ghost Hunts visited the site and claimed the old school area downstairs had the most activity, leaving some guests on the tour and investigators feeling ill. Further reports have been made of wardrobes moving in some of the upstairs rooms, a ball bouncing on its own down the main staircase, and major paranormal activity in the ballroom. So what do you think? Is it all a load of nonsense, or do you believe some of the pubs and hotels of Doncaster are awash with restless souls from the past? I've enjoyed a drink or two in most of these places, but thankfully for me, the only spirits I've seen have been served with Coke and splashed over ice. But what about you? Let me know any experiences you've had in the comments. If you have any other ghostly stories from the Doncaster area, please feel free to get in touch. Have you visited any of these locations? And if so, did you get any strange feelings? Thanks as always for watching the video. Do please give it a like and share if you've enjoyed it. And feel free to subscribe to the channel to come on the next adventure.